Go Mouse Scouts, episode 145. You're listening to Go Mouse Scouts, where we're dedicated to helping you and your kids have a great time at the Disney parks. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, my name is Chris.
And my name is Kit.
And in this episode, Megan and I chat with Lauren, who just came back from a Walt Disney World trip with her family, and she gives a trip report, and she gives some wonderful tips that some things that we hadn't even thought of. It just goes to show, every trip is different, and you never know what you're going to really expect until you really get there. You can plan as much as you can, but she gives some great tips on ways that they helped to have a great time on their trip. Now, if you're just joining us, if you've never heard one of our shows before, you can find us in the Apple Podcasts directory on your iPhones. We are also in Google Play, as well as Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and we're also in Spotify now as well. Yes, they have podcasts. They have recently gotten into the podcasting world, so definitely check us out on any of those platforms. It'll make it easier to listen to our show, and you can subscribe there and be notified whenever we upload a new episode. Other than that, let's get right into the trip review with Lauren. We have a special guest on our show today, and her name is Lauren, and she's actually a member of our Facebook group. So welcome, Lauren. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you're part of our Facebook group, and I don't know if you know that we also do a podcast. Obviously, you know about it now since you're on it, but had you listened to our show before? Or
I hadn't. No, I hadn't.
No. So, hey, you might want to check it out. It's a lot of fun. We give a lot of park tips, when it comes to visiting the Disney parks with kids and stuff like that. So, and since you just got back from a Walt Disney World trip with your family, it would fit right in. So, let's just kind of start off here. Could you give us kind of a brief overview of your family? How many kids you have, and just kind of a bird's eye view.
Sure. We just have two right now. Actually, I say right now, but no, we just have two, period. End of story. My daughter just turned 3 and my son just turned 1.
Nice.
Although for the technicality of our trip, they were 2 and 1.
Okay. Awesome.
So.
Now, what was this your first, this wasn't your first trip to Disney World?
No, I formerly worked there. My husband and I have gone without children many times before we were married and after. Okay. And we took our daughter when she was 22 months.
Oh, nice. All right.
So we're a Disney family.
So are we, although none of us have been cast members. What did you do for Disney? I'm curious.
I was an entertainer. Yes, I performed in shows, etc. Both in the Kingdom, in Magic Kingdom, and also on Disney Cruise Line for 2 years.
Cool. Wow. What kind of performing did you do? Was it acting?
Singing, dancing, and acting. Yeah, kind of a little of everything. Mm-hmm. They have musical theater style productions. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. So you did a lot of the musical theater on the ships?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so let's just jump right into the question. So before you went, what were some of the things that you did to prepare for your trip?
Well, we started planning more than a year out because we told my daughter we could take the baby once he was walking. So that was kind of always our plan, that we would go for like his first birthday. Mm-hmm. Our kids walk early.
Okay.
And so we booked before we could even get like a full package. We just booked the room, and then we had to call back and rebook. Mm-hmm. The only bummer about that is you have to put quite a bit more down to book just a room than to book a package. Mm-hmm. So it's like double the price. So we did that. And then I just called every month to see if there was any specials that would give us a better deal. And they're good about that. They'll just run through all the deals and check the prices. And if one looks better, then they'll give you that. And eventually we settled on one. And it gave us, like, we originally were going to do quick service dining, because quick service with kids, you don't want to sit at the table, you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they found a package that included table service dining that was cheaper. And I went, okay, great, we'll take it. So we ended up getting a better deal with the table service plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. We had, my daughter got a Castle savings jar, and she did chores to earn coins to put in her Castle jar.
That's pretty impressive for a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she did incredible. Well, before that, she was saving for earrings. So then we started saving for Disney, and she does dishes and laundry and watches her little brother and things like that. So
Okay.
she saved a bunch of coins. And I had a paper chain countdown at about the 150-day mark. Usually I do 100, but we were really excited for this trip.
Yeah. Wow.
So
All right.
that was our leading up to.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about like the actual trip there? Did you guys, where do you guys live? What state do you guys live in?
We're in Florida. We're only about 3 hours south.
Okay, so a road trip.
Southwest of
All right.
Disney.
Man.
So we just drove.
Good times. Good times. Do you guys often do longer kind of road trips like that, or?
No.
Okay, so
No.
this was kind of a different experience as well.
Trial and error with the baby, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely. What did you guys do to try and make the 3-hour trip easier?
Well, we originally planned it to be during nap time, but we did not get out of the house on schedule at all.
Mm-hmm.
We were originally going to show up, have lunch, nap, and then play in the wilderness for the evening, but we got there after dark. So we had lots of things for the 3-year-old to do, sticker books and magnet dolls and things like that. And the baby just, he did end up sleeping, but we also had to give him the iPad at one point with Moana mesmerizes him. So Moana and then Coco was the road home. But that we just pre-downloaded them to the iPad through the Movies Anywhere app.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. So we were able to get the 2 movies on there, and that entertained them when we were desperate.
Great.
Yeah, we're quite familiar with the Movies Everywhere and all that. So,
Oh yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned that you guys didn't get out like at all on the schedule that you wanted to do, and
No.
we have no idea what that's like. You know?
No, I'm sure.
I mean, just 2 days ago, we went to Disneyland, and we got out. I don't know, maybe
Half an hour after.
okay, half an hour after we wanted to leave, like, by plan or whatever.
But that adds a lot of extra traffic for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
time-wise, yeah.
It doesn't account for the fact that night our youngest, Roddy, was like waking up every 20 minutes or so with like really loud wails and like
We almost scrapped the day. we were up at we needed to get up at like 4:30 in order to get out of the door on time, and we're like, do we really want to do this?
Yeah,
But we did
I've been there.
We got up, we braved the traffic
And the rain.
and the rain because it was raining pretty decently.
Wow, you are diehard Disney fans.
Well, we only did half a day at Disneyland, and then we went to the Aquarium of the Pacific over in Long Beach for the rest of the day. So it worked out well.
Yeah, and we kind of wanted to experience the rain a little bit, and so that we could talk about visiting the Disney parks in the rain.
We
which is-
usually avoid
true.
rainy
We're
days
gonna-
like the plague.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of our next episodes on our podcast. So, all right. So we talked about how you prepared. We talked about the actual trip there. Okay, where did you guys end up staying?
We stayed in the cabins at Fort Wilderness Campground,
Okay.
and it was amazing.
Wow. First time
I
doing
will
that,
probably never stay there anywhere else ever again.
All right. So tell us about your experience there.
Well, and I'll say originally we had my husband and I both were excited about the Contemporary because as kids, we'd all like dreamed of staying there. So we did that the first trip with our 22-month-old thinking, oh, it'll be so easy to just like get on the monorail. And yes, it is easy to just get on the monorail. However, you spend 90% of your trip waiting on the elevator, and we had a very bad experience with like luggage. They didn't get it to our room. We wasted half a day. We lost all our fast passes. It was a mess. So we said, you know what? There's so many, because you got to get an elevator to and from the monorail and to and from your room. And with a stroller, you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. It was miserable. So we thought we'd do the Poly again because that's our favorite, but the Polynesian, again, walking. So we're like, we might as well just, my sister has 4 kids and she always does the cabin. So we're like, all right, we'll try it. Never, ever anywhere else. Best ever. It's beautiful. It's it's like a house. You have a back bedroom with bunk beds. You have a queen bed. Then you have a bathroom. It's got a tub, which the kids spent every day in like twice a day. And you've got the living room area has like a full dining room table, a full kitchen with the stove, a dishwasher, and the maid washes your dishes at night. The full size fridge.
Maid?
Huge. Yes.
You still get service? Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. And now you can choose not to have them, and you save $10 a day if you choose not to have them. But just for the fact of poopy diapers and food, we were like, just come, you know. So, and we did take them out. There was a little trash receptacle right outside. So when we did have a bad one, we would go just walk out and put it right in that one. But it was just nice to have, and worth the $10 to us to. And a couple nights we didn't, because we came back to nap and they were there at the time that we were napping, and we said, you know what, go away, we're fine. But we loved it. And the full-size fridge, which we brought a ton of snacks and drinks, and we were grateful because we had that huge fridge. And it's fully furnished with like everything you need to eat and cook, and cake plates and serving and pans and pots. And I mean, you could literally live there. It was incredible. And 2 huge flat screen TVs, one in the living room, one in the bedroom.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I was really roughing it.
You almost don't want to leave the cabin.
No, and we're house hunting at the moment, and because of that, my daughter got the impression for a little while that was our new house, and it was really hard to tell her that it wasn't. She very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, I bet.
We also rented a golf cart, which made life very easy because we didn't have to wait on Disney transportation and buses and things like that. So when we went to Magic Kingdom or Epcot, we just took our golf cart down to the boat, got on the boat. We didn't even have to collapse the double stroller. The double stroller went right on the boat. So if they were sleeping, that was great. Just getting on the golf cart was, the only time we had to collapse it. Although I did consider towing it behind a couple times.
Couple of bungee
I was like, I'll
cords,
just hang on
easy.
and you just drive. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we took our car to Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios.
Okay. Awesome.
So, which is parked at the campsite. It was really easy breezy. I loved it.
Wow. That's pretty great. So Megan, we got to think
definitely
about
something to look into for our next trip.
Yeah, especially
and
we
for
have
the
4
price
kids.
that we usually paid for 5 days and 4 nights at the Contemporary, we got 8 nights in the cabin.
Wow.
Yes, for the same price. So we were very thrilled, and we had a nice long vacation.
Wow.
And the only thing I would do differently is we would do less park days, because we ended up thinking it was going to rain and canceling one of our park days and just staying at the Wilderness. And thankfully it didn't rain, but we were like, this is wonderful. Only now we have an extra park day. And we ended up having to go to like half day in the park on the day we left, which is kind of pushing it. And we thought, you know what, let's keep the 8 days, but do like 5 park days instead of 7, because it was just, we felt like we were missing out on all the fun things that Wilderness had to offer. And it was nice to just have a break in the middle of the week to like just go down to the beach and play in the sand and play, ball. And they'd have like a water park there with little like spray feet, for the kids. And there was just so much there to do that we could have done and did some, but we would do less park days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stayed down there, you said 8 days?
8 nights. So it was like 9
okay.
days.
Okay, 9 days, 8 nights. Give us a brief overview of what you did each day. Basically, the parks you went to, and what you guys did on your non-park days.
Sure. I'm a crazy planner, so because of fast passes, I had everything well booked for every morning because that's when our kids are fresh and best.
Mm-hmm.
And also the fast passes, when you book them, you can only book 3, and then you can't book any more until they're all used. So even if we thought we couldn't make them, we booked them, and then that way, when we used the last one, we could start booking new ones immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So I never book fast passes for evening anything.
Yeah.
So we got up the first morning and went to Magic Kingdom and had breakfast with the princesses because that was my daughter's like dream. So we went to Cinderella's castle and had breakfast with the princesses, and that was good. A little bit rushed for time with the princesses, but I think that's any dinner or any dining experience. There were a couple that were better than others, but that one was very busy and rushed. But it was nice to get them all in her book. Yeah. And we got the book that has the picture slots too, so that'll be cute.
One thing that we've found with character dining is if you do like a character breakfast and you get like one of the first seatings, the characters start coming around, and this is before like most everybody else gets there. You get a little more time with each character, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. We kind of shot for the 10 o'clock time every day because we did not want the stress of trying to get up and get out, because then we don't feel like it's vacation.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Although I will say that first morning we were rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were rushed. I think we tried to do too much on the first day after we got there because I think I got a little bit of sun poisoning. We got a little beat down. We were done by afternoon. We didn't even want to go back that night. I was like, dehydrated and dizzy and headache and whole 9 yards. So I was like, I think we overdid it. But
yeah,
we also did the experience to visit Mickey in where he gets to talk and interact with the kids. And they really enjoyed that because he sang happy birthday to both of them, which was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because they're just 2 months apart. It was so cute. He's like, "Oh, well, that was just a couple months ago. All right." And he had the whole room join in.
Wow.
So that was something for her and something for him that we did. And then there was one other fast pass that day. But and then, we just jumped in a couple of things. We went home to the cabin that day and rested. And like I said, we just kind of rallied, but I think we ended up going just we just went down to watch the water parade that night because we were just tired, and so we just got a pizza and watched the parade from the boat dock at the Wilderness. And then the second day we did Epcot. We saw all of the friends first, got all of our pictures and autographs, and we enjoyed our snack credits. Oh my goodness, I read in advance that snack credits counted at the garden festival, the Flower Garden Festival.
Oh yeah.
Those little booths. We had the most amazing like honey chicken flatbread and like cheese. I mean, you could get so much and it's just a snack credit. And I'm like, and it's like food. Yeah.
We got to go during one of those festivals.
Yes, the snack credits go really far for that.
We have never yet managed to use up all of our snack credits on a trip.
But I think
really?
we will at Epcot.
Yeah.
So
yes, definitely. And we had a couple that we ended up using to buy gifts for people when we left. We bought some little treats for, those artisan Mickey cookies, and like they have the giant, like size of your head chocolate chip Mickey cookies and things like that. We bought them as gifts for people. So that was fun.
Cool.
So yeah, we did that. We did the Frozen ride, had to do that. Saw a couple characters, just strolled around, and we did go back to Epcot in the evening just to play. Even my kids just like spend 20 minutes playing with the lights in the sidewalk. There's like this little light show that's in one of the sidewalks, and they just like chasing the lights around and watching it. Same with those jumping waters.
I remember ours doing that our last trip too.
They're right outside
we spent time with
Spaceship Earth, right? Like the little fiber
lights
optic lights in the ground.
That's exactly right. Yep, they enjoyed that.
One of the small details.
Yes, and like, I mean, my first trip, my daughter spent literally 20 minutes chasing a duck around in Adventureland, and that was her favorite thing. And I'm like, hey,
Yep.
we're at Disney, so. But so we gave them time to play with the water and play with that, and then we did Animal Kingdom on our third day. Well, no, that was the day we took off to play at the Wilderness. We were going to go to Animal Kingdom, but it ended up, we thought it was going to rain. It didn't. So at the Wilderness, we just, we drove around. We went down to the water. My daughter wanted to build a sandcastle, so she played in the sand. They played with the little ball thing, tether ball, and just took an epic nap. She napped for like 6 hours that day.
Nice.
Yeah, it was the longest nap ever. I'm like, don't wake her, because if she needs it, then her body needs it, and she'll be better for it. Less tantrums. So it was great. Just very relaxing. We watched a movie. We went to the campfire sing along with Chip and Dale and made s'mores. It turned out being really cold. We got there during a cold front, so yeah, we had a lot of fun that day. And then the next day we went to Animal Kingdom, which was amazing. We went on the Navi boat ride, which I was glad we had a fast pass for. We don't do any rides without fast pass except for the carousel. And it was nice. It wasn't all that I thought it was going to be. And also the computers were down on several of the images. So we saw like a desktop screen, like projected on a lot of the ride.
Nice.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. And somebody on the boat with us asked if they could go again because of that. And that was pretty clever, but we really were kind of done. And most of it was working. It was just like several of the projector screens were like a desktop computer. And it was, it was kind of, it's a small world. It was just a boat, it was pretty, but just a boat ride and a short one. We did not do the other new Avatar ride, which I didn't think to give my husband a fast pass for, just so he could do it. But he's like, that's all right. I'd rather be with you guys, and we'll do it next time. But we ate at that Satuli canteen, and it was the best meal anybody has ever had. It was phenomenal. We actually planned to go back just for that on the last day, but my daughter's 3, and what she says goes, and she planned her whole day. So it was all about seeing Cinderella and riding the carousel one last time. So
yeah.
We ended up having 2 meals at Satuli. We had the bowls. He got the beef bowl and I got the fish bowl, and they were incredible. And then we went back again and got the burger pod, which was also amazing. And there was 2 of them, so we were able to split that as a snack. And we had the Pongo Pongo drink with like the little boba balls, and it was phenomenal. I mean, honestly, I'd go back to Animal Kingdom every day and eat if I could. And my daughter got the Navi face painting, which was really cool too. And then while she took her nap, we took the baby, or the 1-year-old, through the Asia Jungle Trek, which is amazing. And he got to see tigers up close and got to see bats and lizards and birds in the bird pavilion. He was, the birds were like following him, and he thought that was the coolest thing ever. So that was really, really our best day. I think my favorite day.
Okay, cool.
It was very laid back. We spent the whole day in the park. We didn't have to come back to nap because they napped in the stroller, and it was just very relaxed. And the environment there is so peaceful and so fun. And then the next day, God, it was a lot of days. We went to Hollywood Studios just for the morning. There's not a lot there for the kids, and it's not my favorite park. So we just went and did breakfast with the Disney Junior characters, saw the Disney Junior show, and left. And that's it. And we went back into Magic Kingdom to ride like some other rides, the roller coaster, the Barnstormer. My daughter was finally tall enough to do, and she wanted to drive the race car. She's finally tall enough for that, and that kind of thing. Peter Pan is her favorite ride. And we discovered that you can, if you take turns, you can book 2 fast passes if you split your party, because our daughter wasn't old enough to have a fast pass on her own. So we made like 2 fast passes at the same time, one for my husband, one for me. and then he would take her on one ride, and then I would take her on the other ride. Or even some places offered rider swaps, so we could both ride. She could get to ride twice, and we could both ride, and we could get like twice the fast pass fun. Kind of a trick of the system, but so she got to ride the car twice, and it was cool.
Oh, nice.
With rider swap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
we use that a lot too.
That was great. And like I said, we just kept booking fast passes. And then while we were waiting in line for the next one to start, we book another one. And then we, like I said, on our last day, we went back into Magic Kingdom, and my daughter got to pick like her top 3 things. And that's what we did. We saw Cinderella. We went on the carousel again. We went on Peter Pan again, and we went on Buzz Lightyear again. And we had to cut it short because we left everything in the safe and didn't realize it until midday. So that was kind of bad, but we meant well. And that was how we ended our day. So that's our trip in a nutshell.
Awesome.
Great.
And you may have heard a little cameo by our youngest, Roddy, making the little noises.
Mine is downstairs doing the same. I did not manage to get him to sleep because he fell asleep in the car. And once he sleeps in the car, then his whole schedule's thrown.
Yes, even if it's only a 2-minute sleep, they're like, great, I'm good.
Throws
that
the whole
wonderful.
schedule. Isn't that crazy? And you're like, no. I actually did work. Like I sat and made phone calls in the car for an hour yesterday so they'd stay asleep in the car. Just sitting in the driveway. Yep.
Yep, there you go. The things you got to do, right?
Yep.
All right.
Surprisingly, had no meltdowns at Disney. Really surprisingly.
Dude. Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. Parents or kids, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes Megan has to just like tell me, settle down. You're at Disneyland. It's like
happiest place on earth.
Be happy already, will ya?
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
Yep. So, were you guys celebrating anything? Any birthdays or anything like that? Or
yeah, well, my daughter and son, their birthdays are 2 months apart, so we technically let them both have kind of a breakfast or a day that we wore their pin and they got the attention. And then my husband and I had our 4th anniversary right in the middle of our trip, like on the Thursday.
Sweet. Happy anniversary!
So, thank you. So that was our kind of all 3 things that we were celebrating. We typically go for both of our birthdays, which are a month apart in October and November. But we had a bad experience last November, and we had the baby. We wanted him to be a little older. So we tried March this year, and it worked out great.
Awesome. So it was the epic birthday anniversary trip of awesomeness.
Yeah. It really was. It really was.
Now, you'd mentioned your last trip, you had kind of a bad experience. Did you, would you be okay mentioning that real quick? Telling what happened?
Well, we always go that first week of November. That's when my birthday is. And it's cool because you get both fall and Christmas, you get the changeover. And I like to see that. And I like the Christmas without the Christmas crowds, but the crowds were insane, and I just didn't plan right, or I don't know, but it was like both a vacation for the Orlando kids, which now I check their school schedule, and it was some sort of huge race. And then the race got deferred before weather, and so then they stayed even longer. I don't know. It was a nightmare. It was the busiest I've ever seen it. And like I said, that's usually our golden week where nobody's there, and it was crazy. So we thought we'd try a different time. And also, like I said, I checked the race schedule and I checked the school schedules for that county, because I was like, I'm not doing that again.
That's a really good thing to consider, is to check those schedules out. So where did you go to find out the school schedules around there?
I found out the counties, the surrounding counties, and then you can go to the county websites. And I think it's like Orange County and Osceola, or I can't remember the names of them, but I just looked them up. But I'm a teacher, so I knew, to go to the school district's websites, and that's how I was able to find them. But it's their calendars are publicized. They're really easy to find if you just look at the counties surrounding.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Some insider information from a teacher.
Yeah.
That can help you plan your own Disney trip. So
yes.
All right. Let's see here. So you mentioned that what is it? You guys ate at Satuli. Where else did you guys eat?
Oh, yeah, because we had all those table services, which, I was worried that not booking in advance that we wouldn't get anything. But surprisingly, many nights I was able to be like, all right, what do you want? And we were able to find it on the app. If you keep refreshing, things will come up that weren't there before, like dining times and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Also with fast passes, you can keep refreshing, or you can click on it and scroll across and get more times. But yeah, I found that out mid-trip. So we were able to eat at, we ate in the wilderness at just the buffet there, not like the big hoop-de-doo, but just the little buffet dinner they had. And it was really, really good food. We ate at Ohana, which was probably our best experience character-wise. It was incredible. So much food. The characters came around twice. They did the parade twice during our thing. And at one point, Mickey picked my daughter to lead the parade, which was incredible.
Did you get good pictures?
She got to hold Mickey's hand and go around the entire restaurant. And it was really a great experience. We were well fed. It was all you can eat. And it was that was our favorite. And we had, like I said, the castle breakfast, which was good. It was just a little bit crowded. It was very crowded. We were back to back with other people and rushed. And we did the Living Seas, which was amazing. The only thing that I learned is if you want to eat at 7, don't make your reservation for 7. Okay. We found that it took a good hour to get into to get in and to actually be eating an hour at least. So by the time that we were in Living Seas, the kids were done. Yeah. And we enjoyed, the divers were out and the big creatures and everything. So that was cool. We got pretty close to the glass. But we had to take our dessert to go. The kids were done. They were done. We ate at Liberty Tree Tavern. It was more of, we just need to eat something, so let's sit down and eat. And the food was good, but the kids weren't entertained and they were asleep before it was over. So, that wasn't a highlight. And we had some quick service, the Pinocchios. That was terrible. It was like, we pre-ordered on the app, which you would think would be great and was great other times. And my husband went to pick it up and it didn't. I was like, are you sure you're in the right line? Are you waiting in the line? And he said, no, I'm in the mobile order pickup line. It took literally half an hour. Like we called both grandmas to sing happy birthday on FaceTime and it was still not there. And I'm like, we need food. And it really wasn't anything to write home about. So that was wish I hadn't done Pinocchios, but it just seemed like it'd be quick.
Yeah, I guess they're still working out some kinks on that mobile ordering, huh?
I think there was just that many people. It was a busy restaurant, and I think that because at Satuli I did the mobile order, and it was like sent me a text message, "Hey, your food's ready," and I walked in and I got it. So it was kind of a unique to that particular restaurant, which the line was around the back and out the door.
Whew. Wow.
Yeah, it was a very, very busy restaurant. I'm not sure why. It's like I said, it wasn't anything to write home about. I didn't get to try the Skipper Canteen. We wanted to, but we thought the kids really wouldn't eat. A lot of the flavors seemed kind of prominent or spicy or unique, and that's not really kid friendly. So we didn't get to try that this time. But so yeah, we just did quick services here and there, and then actually as we were leaving, because like I said, we had to rush back to get everything out of the safe, we did not get to use our final dining credits, and so we stopped into the Port Orleans, which is where we have stayed in the past. When we have our dogs there, we stay there because it's right across the street from the dogs, and that's awesome. So we went into Port Orleans and ate in their little cafeteria where they have all the different stations, and we had one of the best meals of the trip. So it worked out great. Just before we went home, we just kind of lazed in there and ate our good food and bought a couple of gifts and left. It was fantastic. So
that's cool. Now, you mentioned you've visited in the past with your dogs. How does that work? We haven't really talked about that before.
Oh, yeah, no, it's great. We love it. If we had a bigger car, we still would. But we take them to it was at Polynesia, like it was at Magic Kingdom. So we'd stay at the Polynesian and it was like just a kennel, but now they have a resort and they have varying levels of
It's Disney.
rooms.
It has to be a resort. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have, like, they stay in this room that's got an indoor and an outdoor space. Although the outdoor space is covered and kind of, it's like a corridor. It's more in the interior of the building, but it's outdoor because it's like a breezeway and if they're out there, the stink is not as bad kind of thing. So they have a flat screen TV that plays movies all day. Okay. You can upgrade the suite to like get, a camera directly in their space. But we don't do that because we're right next door. We see them every day. Yeah. And they give them like 2 or 3 30-minute play groups where they play indoor and outdoor, and they have a outdoor yard that when you come, you can take them out in, and it's got like a jumping water fountain and a little pool and just tons of space to ride. And then they have a walking trail they walk them on, and then they get like a turn down biscuit. I mean, they are spoiled rotten, and
nice.
And they give you pictures, and you can tune in the webcam and see them sometimes. And so we loved it. But like I said, we cannot fit 2 car seats and 2 dogs anymore. So we have a resort here very similar that we leave them at. Okay. But we do want to take them someday.
Yeah. What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a Doberman and an American Eskimo.
So big ones.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Hence the problem about not fitting in the car.
They are not stow and go. In fact, because the resort we leave them at is at the interstate, my mom had to follow us out with them in her car for us to take them to daycare. And then we went right out on the interstate from there because I'm like, it doesn't make sense for us to drive 20, 30 minutes down to the interstate, drop them off, come back, pick the kids up, go back out to the interstate again. So we just kind of had her follow us out with the dogs.
So looking at your trip kind of as a whole, is there anything that you would that you would do different next time?
Yeah, well, I definitely would do less park days. It's just the wilderness is such a fun place. I think that A, the kids can use a break, and B, there's so much to do there that you almost feel like you've missed out by not utilizing. Even other resorts have things going on too. There's just things to do outside of the parks that are fun to do. We've been back and forth about dining. It's hard. Table service I felt like I resented it sometimes. Like, I don't want to waste the money because it's table service and we could get this like $100 meal, and I don't want to turn it in for quick service. But I also didn't feel bad turning it in for quick service when it was convenient to our family because it was nice to just have the food and relax.
There's
but I think
value in that too. Absolutely.
Yes. And I think I would always do dining because it's easier not to have to nickel and dime and think about things. You're just like, this is what you get and this is what you get, you know? And I don't know. I mean, really, it was a great trip. It was just the right amount of time. I don't feel like it was too long or too short. My husband always says that he feels like as soon as we get there, he relaxes, he has to turn around and come back. And I've always been okay with 5 days. But when I did 8, I was like, oh, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, we did like a epic, was it?
Our last trip was 12 days.
12-day trip there last time. And yeah, we felt like that was too long.
We hadn't intended it to be 12 days when we booked it. It was going to be like an 8-day trip. But then my parents had decided that they could come along too for one of the weekends, but they couldn't go on the weekend that we were already booked over. So we had to like add days to the front of the trip in order to get, so that we'd have time with them there too. So
we had to. We had to. We had to Disney World. You know, I mean,
yes. Oh God,
it ended up being 12 days. Yeah, 12 days was a little long for the kids, I think.
So I want to do a family trip. We, my sister-in-law, unfortunately, they had like 3 vacations already scheduled with like work-related things and like a wedding that her husband's friend. So they were like, we can't do it this year, but we are very much looking forward to it because they have a little one, my son's age. They're like 6 weeks apart. So we're hoping to go back and do a family trip. That would be really fun.
That would be really great.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to be able to be there with your family, you know. I mean, not just your family, but friends and family too,
Right.
So.
Yeah. When I was a kid, that was like my birthday. My dad would let me bring one person to Disney World, like that was, okay, pick a friend. We're going to Disney. And that was my birthday.
Yeah. Have you guys always lived near Disney World then?
I grew up here, and so we always had passes, and I went constantly. My husband's from Ohio, but they came down at least once a year and camped in the cabins. I'm sure we crossed paths at some time. And so we were both raised with Disney, even though he was far away. They would travel down in their camper and stay at the campgrounds. So, I've always been close, and I started working there in high school. I went to high school here, but drove up on the weekends and holidays. So, yeah.
I always tell Megan that I'm going to retire at Disney World.
That's what my dad used to say. He was going to be one of those barbershop quartet singers and tap dance, and that was what he wanted to do. So
there you go. I'll probably work in the magic shop. Oh wait, there's a magic shop at Disneyland. Is there a magic shop at Disney World?
No, they still have the facade, but it's just a store. I know. In fact, my husband and I literally were reminiscing about that this trip, about how much we missed it, that we loved going in there and buying the little tricks, and it was something we both looked forward to. So I'm kind of sad. I've never been to Disneyland. It's on my bucket list. I really want to go. I have heard things like, that's not as magical because you can see things outside, and I know that was Walt's big plan with this one, was that you wouldn't be able to like see the real world when you were in the world. But I've been to Tokyo, and I've been to Paris.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I still have to do California and China.
Yep. So I figure what I'll do is I'll try and pitch Disney on actually having a close-up magician at the Abracadabra. Because they don't have a magician there. The story is that all the magicians disappeared, and this is what's left. Oh, come on! You can't have a bar called the Abracadabra and not have a magician. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself. I don't feel passionate about this.
No, not at all. Not at all. Can't help.
Not at all.
That's funny. Yeah, I'll have to go there. I've never, like I said, it'll be a trip someday, but it's a big hike, and I've never been. I mean, not as far as Tokyo per se, but
yeah, true. Yep. So, once again, kind of looking at your trip as a whole, what was your biggest trip highlight?
Ooh, that's tricky. Gosh, all of it. The food. I told my husband today, I was like, it's really sad that we spent all that money and all that time, and I can't stop daydreaming about the food at Animal Kingdom. I actually Googled a copycat Satuli Canteen recipe today, right before you guys called.
The burger, the hamburger.
No, it was a steak. It was the steak bowl.
Okay.
The steak bowl with the sweet potato hash. So I'm looking forward to that. But no highlight. I mean, my kids with the characters. Mickey singing "Happy Birthday" was kind of amazing to the kids, and just their faces and their magic was really, really special. Animal Kingdom was my best day, my favorite day. But I think just in general, seeing it through their eyes is everything. As cliche as that sounds.
Yeah, it may be cliche, but you know what? It's absolutely true.
Oh, and that I lost my diaper bag and they found it.
Oh, what? Wow. How long were you without it before you...
Oh, just an evening. It was the night that we were at Liberty Tree. And remember I said, don't book a 7:00 reservation if you want to eat at 7. We were there till 10:00 at night, and we were exhausted, and the park was closing because they were doing that special magic hour thing, which I'm really over.
Yeah.
And let's just charge people a bunch of money to have extra time in the park and take it away from good, paying families. So we were rushing out. My son was asleep. It took 2 of us to get him in the stroller. I was trying to cover them up. It was 40 degrees. And I left it right, in the stroller parking. And it had everything, medications and diapers and the snacks. And I mean, because you have kids, everything was in that bag. That was our whole world. And, so I actually texted a lady I had met at dinner and was like, "Are you guys still there?" And she's like, "No." she was a former cast member too, and she told me to call. I was on the phone for hours with and it's funny, I was actually disappointed twice with cast members that were rude, but yeah, that was one time. And she was like, I'll connect you, and she connected me to the restaurant where nobody answered. And
right,
then I
were closed. Waited all gone.
Right. I had waited on hold for an hour thinking I'd get guest services, and just got a message machine at the restaurant. And then I had called back again, waited on hold another hour. I mean, it was literally like, it was 1:00 in the morning before I got to bed. And they said, I got guest services, and they said, it's not here. You'll have to just go over in the morning. So I was there when they opened, and they had it. Thank God, somebody. I said, I have turned in 15 things this trip. I have turned in a sippy cup, a pacifier, sunglasses, a t-shirt. Like, I have found so many things on this trip. A bib. I was like, who's gonna care about this bib? Whatever. I'm turning it in. Here, somebody lost a bib.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be looking out for me, right? Karma. And sure enough, it was. I did lose a scarf that I didn't get back, but the the diaper bag was everything.
The diaper bag.
We got it the very next morning, so that was fantastic. And and like I said, my husband, we did 3 walkthroughs of the cabin, but nobody thought to check the safe. So that was wallet, everything, money, like all of our cash.
Yeah.
And they had already moved a family in, so we had to have like security and a manager, and it was kind of a nightmare.
Well, I guess that covers the failure moment, huh?
Yes. It was, and at least I kind of felt like glad that it happened to both of us, so it wasn't just me, the big idiot, like it wasn't just me that lost my diaper bag. Like, we both had a moment, and when you've got 2 kids and you're tired and you're going, something's bound to give, and that was it.
Yeah.
So it was still worthwhile, and Disney's, pretty top of the line when it comes to that sort of thing. I said I had 2 rude cast members. One was dining. When you book dining in the app, you have to choose guests. It doesn't say adults and children. So I put 3 because I figured there were 3 of us eating and 1 baby who wasn't. Well, they were, and 3 was available. And then the lady, when I called, I said, can I book this? And she said, yeah. And I said, now, when I'm in the app, should I do 3 or 4? And she said, you have to do 4 because it's 4 people. It's fire code. And she gives me this really nasty attitude about if there's a fire and I'm looking for people, I'm not looking for your children, so they're going to burn. I'm like, are you kidding me right
goodness.
now,
she said that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, now I'm terrified and horrified. And she's like, so you have to put 4. And I see that you did it wrong. Let me just make sure you didn't make this mistake on any of your other reservations. And I was like, I made the other reservations for you. I don't think I made any other mistakes. But she's like, I just want to make sure you didn't do this on any other reservation. And she went through each one. It was just really, really make me. And, I worked for Disney. We are trained to make people feel like they are not asking stupid questions, even when they are. And you're trained how to answer what time is the 4:00 parade. You are trained how to answer, do these stairs go up or down? Like, literally, you are trained to make people feel like their questions are not stupid. And this woman made me feel stupid every time I opened my mouth. And I was like,
and that was the stupid question.
Disney.
The only reason that I knew to book the baby in 2 was because I had read it in some thread somewhere on, online somewhere that, you have to make sure you put the baby in 2. I was like, it was a good thing that I read that because.
Right. He didn't need he was literally strapped to me. He didn't need anything.
Yeah.
But apparently that's what you have to do. And I book all my reservations on the phone. So they knew I had the baby, but on the app, there's not as many, options. It's literally just guests. And actually I think it says adults, which made me feel okay, like it should be adults, and there was no place for children, but whatever. I said, have a Disney day. and then I rated her poorly, which I never do. But if you had a business, would you hire this person? No. Yeah. So, but
they should toss her over to the resort down the street, right?
My goodness. Well, everybody has a bad day. I made a big mistake because we had kind of a negative experience with a character that I was sad about. And then we went to see the character again in a different outfit different wardrobe. And I said to the character, "Oh, you have more than made up for our experience at breakfast." And the character said, "What do you mean?" And I suddenly realized it was the same person.
Oh,
and
no.
At first I felt embarrassed and guilty, and and for the sake of realism, they're all Ariel is Ariel is Ariel is Ariel. Ariel's, she has a dress and she has a fin, and it's always Ariel. But in this case, it really was, and I was really embarrassed. And then I thought, you know what? Maybe she should know. Maybe she should know that, off day, whatever it was, you got to be on 100% all the time. And so though I felt guilty, I was glad that at least maybe it got through. So
good times.
Yes, embarrassing. Oh,
wow.
So,
and
my husband knew.
Yeah. Part of the magic and the experience is, the cast members, I mean, whether they're, the characters or, you're the server at your table.
Yeah.
So.
It is, and having come from that side of things, I know what it takes and what what is expected of you, and so I have a little bit harsher criticism, I think, because I know I had to do it every day, and no matter what was happening, you put on your happy face, and really, how could you not, especially in a position where you deal with children like that,
Yeah.
So I know you leave your troubles at the door, and that's part of why you take the job. So if you can't, go somewhere else.
Yep. Yeah.
I come here for the magic. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. You pay a lot for that.
There were people with the shirts that say, best day ever. And there was a dad with a shirt that said most expensive day ever. And my husband's like, I need that.
Were they in the same party?
Yes, all the family, and then the dad's shirt, they all had the same design, the same picture, everything, their Rapunzel theme, and his said most expensive day ever, and all the rest of them had best day ever. So
I gotta come up with some more shirts like that.
It was very fitting and funny, and Nick would never wear t-shirts, family t-shirts, but he's like, I'd get that one.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So how was your guys' trip home?
Good. We got lost. Sort of. I mean, you can't get lost with GPS, but the baby was screaming inconsolably, and being the female, I guess I was like, I must nurse him, and my husband was like, just go, just get home. And I was like, just 5 minutes, I'll just feed him for 5 minutes. So I pulled off and I fed him. It didn't help, but when GPS put us back on the road, it didn't take us back to the interstate, it took us back roads, and we were we were almost an hour out of our way.
Oh my
on
goodness.
Back roads. It was awful. At first I was like, this is kind of nice. This is scenic. I'm getting a tour of Florida, and I am actually staying awake because I have things to look at, where on the interstate I kind of oh my gosh, it's so repetitive, I'm falling asleep. So at first I was like, this is great, and then another half hour into it I'm like, oh my gosh, how do we get back to the interstate? And we couldn't find it, so we had to take back roads the entire way home, and it was awful. And we got home an hour later than anticipated, and at first it said 10 minutes. I was like, okay, 20, 30, and it kept increasing, and I'm like, I want to go home, I'm so tired. So but the kids were more done. My daughter slept the entire trip, and then the baby, apart from that screaming jag, slept the rest of it. So it wasn't terrible, but that's why they make the perspective at Disney where the castle looks really far away, but then when you're headed out, the exit looks really close. That's that forced perspective that they built. Because when you're going home, you want home to be close, and when you were dreaming of the magic, you're like, it's so far away. But when you're headed home, you're like, oh, I just want to get home, so you want everything to be closer. And the detour was not fun, but I did get everything unpacked that night, which I've never in my life done, so I pat on the back, was very proud of myself.
There you go.
I literally am looking at boxes from my son's first birthday party that I still haven't unpacked. So that was kind of incredible that I was able to get everything unpacked that night.
Yeah, it usually takes me weeks.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, I will at least that.
Yep.
Laundry,
Absolutely.
on the other hand, that's not done. But the unpacked is done.
Yeah. Yeah, good times. So before we officially wrap up the conversation, I do have a few just lightning round questions. So just like quickly off the top of your head, first one is, what is your favorite Walt Disney World park?
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, okay. Dole Whip or Mickey Bar?
Mickey Bar.
Okay. And who is your favorite Disney dragon? And this can be anything from Mushu to Figment.
Really? Because they're my favorites. Oh God.
You can pick one of those. Absolutely. I'm saying anything from.
No, they're all my. No, yeah, no, they're all my favorites.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I'm obsessed. I'm
there's also Elliot. You've got Mushu. You've got Stuffy from Doc McStuffins.
Well, Stuffy wouldn't be up there. Madam Mim is a favorite.
Okay.
But no, Figment, Mushu, or Maleficent. Can I do three?
You said all of those in like one sentence without any spaces, so we'll go ahead and take that.
I'm a dragon. I'm kind of a dragon person.
Okay.
And you know, in Paris, you can actually go under the castle and meet the dragon. Like, they have a huge animatronic Maleficent. It's incredible.
Really?
Wow.
Like underneath the castle in the moat, like in the caves.
That is too cool.
Yeah. I love dragons.
Hey, dragons are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did you have any last thoughts you wanted to share or anything like that about your trip, or maybe a favorite Disney trip tip or anything like that?
No, I think the best tip that I discovered was being able to like click on the times on the My Disney Experience app. Do you guys have that in Disneyland also?
Nope.
Well, there is a Disneyland app, but it doesn't.
Yeah, you can't.
It's different.
So here with the fast passes, they just like last year introduced a new thing called Max Pass, where you can pay an extra amount of money so that you can book your fast passes from your phone. But other than that, it's
what?
Yeah. Other than that, you have to actually like go to the attraction to get your fast passes, and you can only hold one at a time and all that. So, yeah.
It's pretty archaic.
which is funny because when I think about, e-ticket rides, like we really have it good either way.
Mm-hmm.
And going and getting a fast pass period should be exciting. But now that I'm spoiled, I'm so spoiled. And that sounds just so sad to me.
Yeah, we're slumming it over here in the
yeah. But that's the best part California. Is like people are always like, oh man, there's no passes left for this ride, or there's only 3 times left available. And I was just refresh, which I thought was cool. And then this lady behind me at Small World goes, oh yeah, hey, look here. If you tap on this and scroll, you can get more times. Now on the computer, I know how to do that. On the computer, you can select it. It'll show you all the available times. But on the app, it's not. So I was kind of, So she's like, cool. Tap on the time, and then you can swipe left and right and see more. So that was cool. Awesome. So I think that was my favorite thing, and I wish that I'd figured it out before my last day. But
well,
we still managed to do good. We didn't wait in any lines for any rides. So
yeah, and there was all kinds of awesome that happened on your trip. There were some hiccups. There were some rude cast members, but as a whole, your trip was awesome, and
amazing.
We can tell that you guys really enjoyed it. And Lauren, I just wanted to thank you for coming on to our show and letting us live vicariously through your guys' trip.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was fun reliving it myself.
Absolutely. This podcast is brought to you by the Go Mouse Scouts Guide to Visiting Disneyland with Young Kids. Many people are afraid to take their small children and babies to Disneyland, thinking it's too difficult and won't be enjoyable. This ebook will give new and young parents the confidence to do so, arming them with all of the important information they'll need in order to ensure that they have a great time with their kids at the Disneyland Resort. For more information, visit gomousescouts.com/Disneyland book or look for it in the Amazon Kindle store. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, we went to Disney World the other day, huh?
No, Disneyland.
Sorry, yeah. Me and Mommy just interviewed somebody doing a trip report on Disney World, yeah. So I have Disney World on the brain. But we went to Disneyland.
And I got to ride the monorail.
Oh, yeah, you got to ride the monorail.
For my first time.
Yeah, and isn't it cool that for your first time you got to be in
the back?
In the nose, the back nose. That's pretty cool, huh?
The back nose.
The back nose, as he turns around and points at his head. So, tell me about the monorail trip. What did you like about it?
I liked how it went so fast, and when it turned, it kind of leaned.
Mm-hmm. It banked. That's called banking. So whenever you're going straight and then you turn, it goes like that.
Yeah, I was like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, yeah. Was it cool doing that in the rain?
Yeah.
What do you think about the rain at Disneyland? Did you like going out in the rain at Disneyland? Yeah, what did you like about the rain?
I like that it may have watered my plant at home. That I'm my sunflower in my yellow pot outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what else? When we went to Disneyland, you were also tall enough for a certain ride.
Indiana Jones!
Yeah. So, did you ride Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think before you got on it? Were you a little nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me what you were thinking about before you got on it. What did you think was going to happen?
I was afraid I was going to get mushed by the big ball.
You thought you were going to get mushed by the big ball?
Yeah, but, so, pretend that this is the big ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Sort of like that.
So you went underneath the ball?
Yeah, so, there was, a big trap door, and the track went down it, facing kind of like that, and right under the big ball.
Ah, what do you remember about the ride?
Well, I remember that the big ball was at the very last part.
Mm-hmm.
So after we went under, there was Indiana Jones standing right next to the big ball, but crushed.
Wait, Indiana Jones was crushed, or the ball was crushed?
No, the big ball was into smushed pieces on the wall.
Yeah,
but it was a fake one. They still used they made 2 big balls, rolled one down the track, and banged it into that wall. But
and that's how they broke it?
Yep.
They had to get another one to break it?
No. They made another one, but to break. They made little stones and glued them to the wall, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was how they used that. And the big ball may have been made out of foam.
May have been made out of foam?
Yeah. So maybe they used the same one that they used for the Indiana Jones stunt show.
No, I don't think they used the same one for the Indiana Jones stunt show. If they did that, they would have to bring the ball back and forth from California to Florida, back to California to Florida.
Then Florida just made their own for the Indiana Jones stunt show.
You might be right.
And it has to be made out of foam.
Yeah?
Because, if they had a mishappen, it wouldn't hurt if you got accidentally hit by the ball.
So what else happened on the ride?
I looked up before the big ball came, and then I looked forward, and I saw the big ball. Then I looked up again, and I saw Indiana Jones hanging on a rope up above the big ball.
Did you yell at him to tell him to get in your car? Did you say, get in, get in, get in?
I think I saw a big hole above him, so I think there was a rope over there, and there was a robot over there, and it pulled him up so he didn't get hit by the ball.
Ah, okay. What else did you see on the ride?
I saw a big snake.
Do you like the snake?
Yeah.
Was it cool?
Yeah.
Did it try to strike at you? Did it go shh? No?
It was at me.
It was hissing at you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like, it was about that tall from like it sitting on its knee and like on its like so
on
like
its
it
head?
was kind of like this.
Oh, okay. So it was coiled and then it came up so that you could see its head?
No.
No?
It was at first it was like this.
Mm-hmm.
So like pretend that this is the head. I mean this is the tongue.
Okay.
So like it was like sitting up like that.
And what he's doing is he's gesturing with his hands, showing us the shape of how the snake is positioned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. What did you see at the beginning of the ride?
Well, at first, I saw like a big room with a little ramp and a big statue, of somebody. And if you looked into the eyes, the statue woke up. So like it.
Did you guys look into its eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you woke up the statue?
I closed my eyes at first, and then I was accidentally looking at the eyes, and then I opened my eyes and was like staring into the eyes. It was an accident when I made it wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah, okay.
And like and there's lots of statues of snakes on the sides.
Uh-huh.
But those didn't wake up.
Okay.
Only this person statue.
Ah, okay. And did you want to talk about any other parts of the ride, or what was your favorite part of the ride? Was it the boulder?
No.
No, what was your favorite part of the ride?
The dark part. Oh, right. I saw a skeleton wearing a Mickey hat, and another hidden thing most people miss.
Okay.
Other than you missing all that fun on the skeleton wearing the Mickey hat.
Do you know what his name is?
No.
His name is Bones. They call him Bones.
Because he's made out of bones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He may have been a dancing skeleton.
A dancing skeleton? Yeah. All right. So
most people miss a big skeleton, big scene above after you see another statue of the person. There's like a green laser inside its eye, and like it lasers at you, but it's just light.
And
so like after really that room, guess what?
What?
There's a big scene that looks like that has like a big skeleton in it. That looks like he was fattish. So and with his hands like that, and
okay,
and a big like circled head.
Okay. So did you like the ride?
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Do you want to ride on it again?
Maybe.
Maybe? Next time we go, you want to go on it again?
Maybe. I'll think of it.
You'll think about it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that does it for this little chat, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Say bye-bye, Mouse Scouts.
Bye, Mouse Scouts.
Cool. Hey Mouse Scouts, are you thinking about taking a Disney vacation? Let us help you out. We have teamed up with Gold Gal Getaways, and they can help you with all of your planning details, and since they're paid by Disney, they can do it all at no additional cost to you. Their amazing agents will work with you directly to make sure that you're getting the best rates possible on lodging and admission, and will even keep their eyes peeled for other discounts or bonuses to add to your trip as they come up. There's just so much to consider when planning a vacation to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or even a Disney cruise, so let Gold Gal Getaways take care of it all for you. That way you can know for sure that nothing will get missed and you'll have a wonderful, magical trip. Plus, if you book a trip to Disneyland, you're entitled to a free digital copy of our guide to visiting Disneyland with young kids. For a free, no-obligation quote, visit gomousescouts.com/quote. And have a great time on your trip. And that wraps up this episode of Go Mouse Scouts. I wanted to first off give a huge thank you to Lauren for coming onto our show and giving the trip report. She did a wonderful job. We got some awesome information, and I have to say it was a ton of fun being able to, visit the parks through her kind of vicariously. And so thank you, Lauren, so much for taking the time out of your schedule to do that for us. We certainly appreciate that. I also wanted to mention to you guys that we have a freebie for you that you can check out for people who are planning a trip to Disneyland. It's a free ebook you can get at gomousescouts.com/freebie, and it's called 10 Ways That Families Can Save on a Disneyland Trip. Now, it is Disneyland specific, but that doesn't mean that there aren't items in there that, you couldn't use for planning a Walt Disney World trip as well. So definitely check that out. And we also have our book that you can find in the Amazon Kindle store, which is the Go Mouse Scouts Guide to Visiting Disneyland with Young Kids and Still Having a Great Time. Check that out. And, if you guys are booking a trip, definitely, get a... if you're planning a trip, definitely check out Gold Gal Getaways and get a free no obligation quote from them as well. So thank you guys so much for listening. You can find us online at gomousescouts.com. We're on Twitter. We have our Facebook group, which is how we found out about Lauren and her trip. And if you guys have, recently visited Disneyland or Disney World with your family and your kids, we would love to hear from you and perhaps do a trip report with you guys as well. So reach out to us, fun@gomousescouts.com. Join our group, gomousescouts.com/Facebook. And, we just geek out over Disney over there. And, there's some fun conversations going on. We would love to have you guys come in and join us, join in the fun. But most of all, thank you guys so much for taking your time to listen to our show. We do this for you guys. We try and be as genuine as possible. And, we love Disney. You guys love Disney, and we love visiting the parks. And we're happy to do this for you. So have a wonderful week. We will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
Disney 98. Papa, what did